Supersonic boom should hit you in just a few seconds.
I don't know if you've been following or not, but there's been Tumblr controversy around a young girl who's a fan of the Steven Universe cartoon, which I've watched despite my advancing age. Steven Universe is seen as quite a progressive cartoon, you know, with depictions of different body types and hints at lesbian relationships, and you know, the main character is a little fat kid who's all heart and love and all this. So it tends to attract a certain kind of audience, and to be appreciated by the Tumblrites as being, you know, supportive of their points of view. You know, different sexualities, different colours, different body types, all this stuff. They see reflections of themselves in it, so they take it very seriously, and it attracts quite a lot of quite rabid fans, which is no bad thing, really. Being a fan of something is good. Having an interest to that degree, taking that much interest in something is good. But it has increasingly developed this darker side in which, if you're being a fan wrong, then you can get in trouble. So this young girl called Zami, I think, Zamii. I hope I'm saying it right for her. Big fan of Steven Universe. Drew lots of images of the characters and things in the style of the characters, and she's a very talented young artist, as it turns out. But what she's not so good at is appeasing these people. She did it wrong. You know, she drew a fat character slightly thinner. She drew a supposedly coloured character, though they're sentient gems from outer space. Drew a coloured character the wrong colour. She did other cartoon images which were accused of being racist or of culturally appropriating. You know, once they latched onto her, they would not let up. Everything she did was super analysed down to the finest detail for anything problematic that anyone could have a go at her about. And so this went on and on and on, and this poor girl who has other issues, health issues and things, eventually just couldn't take it anymore, and seemingly attempted suicide. Now, unfortunately, she's okay, but this hit me right in the feels. I would have said something about it before, but I wanted to make sure she was okay before I said anything about it. So yeah, I don't want to talk too directly about Zami because that's kind of intrusive, and equally it's disrespectful to make it about me. But what I want to say is that I can relate, Zami. I have clinical depression to suicidal levels. And I've had the same kind of attacks on me for things that I've made. I write and make games, I don't do art. My one big regret in life is that my love of art was crushed out of me. In my case, by the educational system. In your case, it's your peers. And that's unforgivable to me, and it resonates. And I really hope that they do not crush your love of art out of you, because you're a very talented girl. So the way I want to talk about it, though, is to say that I understand. I've been there. I have been the person hurting themselves to try and escape from these people, and from the pain that they cause from attacking you over something you love. And you can survive. I'm still here. You're still here. Yeah, you can get through it. These people don't care about you, not really. They don't care about your art, not really. They're just trying to... Ironically, they're trying to be good people. And they think that by persecuting you and picking on everything that you do, that they are showing everybody that they're good people. And I've been in that situation. Once they latch onto you, I don't want to make this seem worse, but they do not let go. They keep on at you. They keep pushing. They keep going over everything you ever do with a fine-tooth comb, looking for anything that they can criticize. And so I've had to learn some hard lessons, and I hope you can be spared that. Maybe I can give you some advice, Zami. I don't know. I hope I can. I had to learn to develop a much thicker skin than I had, because despite all my experience on the internet, going way back, and despite understanding what trolls are and all of this, sometimes it still gets to you, and there are a few things where it still gets to me. So you can develop a thicker skin, and that helps. But you have to eventually kind of know yourself, and you have to compromise your beliefs to the extent where you have to be confident enough that you can ignore some people. I'm not saying ignore everybody, or ignore all criticism all the time, because some can be valid, but you have to learn to pick out when someone is just in it to make themselves look good or to bully you. And then you just block, ignore, get rid of them, and surround yourself with people who love and support you, and who you can trust to be honest when they criticize you, that they're not doing it because they're trying to say, look at me, what a great person I am, I've called out this person. You want people who actually care about you and care about what you're doing. And once you get that, things become more survivable. It's still going to be hard, I don't want to lie to you, but if you can do that, if you can get that thicker skin, if you can learn to shut out the people who don't have your best interests at heart, if you can surround yourself with a core group of people who will be honest with you and will love and support you, not unconditionally, but who you can trust to be your friends, then things will be so much better for you. And I do hope you get better soon. So yeah, this whole situation really got to me because I've been there, and I feel horrible for what happened to her, and I think people should feel ashamed. I used to think that the problems in fandom were coming about because fandom, science fiction, fantasy, comics, cartoons, computer games, all of it, I used to think that the problem was that we had become mainstream, and so that we had lost that fine thread that connected us all, which is we all used to be outcasts. We had a common enemy in normal people, bullies, people who would persecute and be horrible to us. And that joined us together and made us strong, and it made fandoms a haven against this kind of behaviour. But now I see that it's not just that loss of the common experience in fandoms. It's not just that, but the bullies are now part of the fandom. Some people will argue that they always were, and that geek tests and so on were bullying, but they weren't really. They were an immune system checking whether someone was really safe to be around, whether they really were part of the fandom and they were meant to be there. But now they're amongst us, the bullies, and there is no safe haven anymore. And it's ironic that so many of the people that come into our spaces and bully us are people who are supposedly arguing for safe spaces where they've destroyed them. So it's even worse than I thought, I guess. But I'm very sad that it has come to that state of affairs, where somewhere that used to be so open, so welcoming, so non-judgmental, so tolerant in the proper sense of the word, has become this horrible, nasty space. So maybe we need to make new spaces within that are genuinely in the old spirit of fandom. So I'd just like to end by saying, look, Zami, I hope you get better, and I hope you keep making art, and I hope you get stronger from this and move on. And I run a scholarship every year through my gaming company for young artists to try and help them through school and college and university and so on. It's not a huge amount of money. It's usually a few $100s. I do crowdfunding, and I add some money into the pot from the art that I sell through my company. But if by any chance you happen to see this and you would like to enter, I would love it if you would enter, if you're well enough, and maybe we can help get you through school, get you some art supplies or something. We'll see. I hope you see this. I hope you get some strength from it. I hope you hear the advice I'm giving, and I hope it works out for you. And the people who've turned not just the Steven Universe fandom, but other fandoms into this hateful, nasty space where everyone is afraid to say or do anything. And to everyone else, peace out. See you later.